Good morning, welcome to a morning review on Wednesday the 8th of April. This is Kim Watson speaking. Okay, looking at the Euro-Dollar first. What are we doing here? We're back onto the monthly pivot here, having a bit of a bounce off the monthly pivot. There's a couple of areas really. I'm still split in terms of whether we're going to see a continuation we're looking from a daily perspective. Are we going to see a continuation to this the upside here from the sort of levels we got? But we're sort of stuck in this wedge at the moment. Now, yesterday we came pretty close to breaking that. Now, looking where we are at the moment with this sort of from this 4-hourly chart, to me it looks like it could really just roll over here. So if we've just done a triple top on the short-term time frame there, and it's just reacting to that. It's just under its daily pivot. That could be it, and we could see a break to the downside. Now, if it does run back up, I would look at the upper bands here as a possible short area combined with that 50 moving average. So at the moment, I'm not looking particularly favourably on the potential upside here. So really, if it carries on in this route, there is actually a bit of a trend line running across. It's not the best in the world, but there is and I may just wait for this hour to finish off and look at it at that point. It may be too late at that point, I don't know, we'll see. But if it breaks that level, then maybe I'd look for the short side, look for yesterday's lows, and maybe a continuation back down to sort of the 10760 area where we had this consolidation previously. So it may just be drawn into that sort of field. So that's what I'm looking for at the moment. There's not much more to say on that. There's little in the way of significant news being released today, this morning at least. There is the FOMC minutes coming out at 7 o'clock this evening, which may create quite a bit of volatility for the euro. We'll see. But that's it for the euro for the moment. So at the moment, with the lower, well, I mean, it shows it nicely on this hourly chart, really, in terms of what I'm looking at. You've got these lower lows and lower highs kicking through here at the moment. So, as I say, a break of this sort of area here and a continuation may just see it. I just need to let this candle finish. Once this candle's finished, I'll then look at really drawing where the trend line sits, and it may be sitting over the new candle, and it may already have started breaking that. But there is effectively a trend line around that level anyway, which is just knocking on the door of. So, to me, looking weak at the moment. How would I change my view on that? Well, it would need to break through this daily pivot here, etc., and give us a bit of a shove up. As I say, I'd still be watching the level around 10866. So 10866 would be, well, that's just literally above this 200, etc. And then again, we may get a reaction off the 50 MA, the hourly 50, if it was to start breaking up. But then that would be a target. So if we can get beyond this sort of cluster of moving averages here and start giving a more sustained rally, then perhaps I'd be looking alongside it. It needs to get, as I say, through that upper band. If it fails again at that sort of level, I'll remain looking towards the short side. Okay, that's the euro. Looking at the pound at this juncture, we had a bit more of a push shove up on the pound. Looking from the daily perspective first, once again we're sort of sitting with these bands. Well, the bands are effectively just hugging around the price because the price isn't going anywhere. It's in been in this sort of channel or sideward movement here for quite some time. If you pop it across the lows there, you can see that the majority of trading we've had apart from a few spikes, has been within that range there. So it's a very range built market at the moment, making it a little bit more tricky. Here we're coming up to the upper bands, and I mean, I'm looking at potential reaction here that we've already been through the weekly pivot, which is the black line that's underneath there. So that we could just be testing it properly from the underside here. So there is a bit of a combination around that 148.705 or 70 area. Sorry, 148.70 area. There, looking where we are Well, we've tested the 50 yesterday. Well, it's just into the 500 as we are where we are at the moment, and having a bit of reaction. Gone through the dailies. Big bullish engulfing candle at the moment. Again, for me, is I need to wait and see what the reaction after this hour probably. But if we do start seeing, because of what's happened in terms of this sort of these levels here, we've sort of put in this low here, another low, another low. So you've got this sort of triple or these lower lows coming through, and we haven't pushed up above any of these highs here. So we're sort of putting in lower highs on each occasion here. So this last one was the great unknown here. What we're going to do here, we're going to see a reversal or not. Coming back, actually, I just need to come back, and I mean the thing is, it could be just reversing back to go towards the highs there. So if we do get sort of everything running in together, this time it may break that 50 and push up back up towards that monthly pivot, etc. But as I say, for me it's been more probably a little bit more difficult to read at times. Okay, so there's the pound. Let's look at the dollar yen. Come out, look at the big picture again, and again is sitting in quite a tight range. It is trying to break out the trend lines I drew yesterday. It's trying to break out of those sort of levels. I may just need to adjust that upper one there now in terms of what we've seen yesterday. So still in that sort of wedgy pattern on the dailies. It broke the upper trend line yesterday that I'd drawn here and rallied like a good one. And then rolled over. It's currently sitting on that 21 moving average, with a little bit of a bounce. This could continue to the upside. It's, as I say, strong day up yesterday. Didn't really look back at all yesterday, just continued and continued. We've seen some strengthening coming of the yen at the moment, but whether it can hold it, we'll see. Now we've got the cross of the 5200 sort of coming recently. This, if anything, it looks like it could continue to the downside a little bit at the moment, but for me, I think really I need to wait, be patient again, and maybe look. I mean, it's quite a way away, but if it does start breaking, I'll look for the longs if it starts breaking my trend line, basically, unless there's something on the shorter time frame that gives me the clue beforehand. But at the moment, I just need to be patient on it. It's come off quite strong through the Asian session there. So it has got some potential support, the 50 just below us there, so we may get some reaction to that. But the way it's been moving, I'd rather be long on it at this juncture. Let's just come back to the daily. So yeah, I'd rather be waiting to see if we can push beyond that trend line I've drawn and maybe break the upper side here, in which case it will give us the possibility to run back up towards the 122 area. Right, that's dollar yen. Okay, and finally the Aussie dollar. Not a lot of surprise here to see a sort of a consolidated move again in terms of what we're seeing. Pushing up at the moment, seeming to be a little bit more bullish than some of the other dollar pairs, but still not really getting anywhere. I mean, it's still trapped below its monthly pivot there. Not a lot on that particular chart to tell us too much. You can see the way the bands is just, I mean, price is just playing between the bands here. It's pretty range bound effectively, and this hourly, I mean, this pretty sums up. There's sort of periods here which, for long periods here, you're just seeing these sort of sections where it's not really going too far, and then you just get a bit of news, and then it's just it's pretty difficult in terms of trading. There's no straightforward trends to be playing. However, from where we're sitting here looking at this hourly, possibly if we can break the high here, we could push back up to test, run into yesterday's highs again and test that sort of area. So if we do see a rally against it, or some dollar weakness, the Aussie may be a trade back up to yesterday's highs in its daily R1 area there. So something to watch there. If we see weakness across the markets, well, the Aussie seems to roll over just as anything else does, and it probably rolls over better sometimes. but we see some weakness there. Maybe looking for the break of the bottom trend line there. It's not very well drawn on, actually. It needs to come across a little more, but in fact there's probably a better trend line that comes right away from the lows here, and it may be that sort of area, a break of that for me to be on the short side. At the moment it's erring towards the longer side here and say double top little territory. Okay, that's it for me. As I say, no real news from we got the FMC minutes out later on at 7 o'clock this evening, but not a significant amount of news before then to affect these pairs, currency pairs really. Actually, we've got FOMC Dudley speaking at 2:30. Let's just check what he's speaking about. Okay, you speak about the economy and monetary policy at the Reuters newsmaker event. Okay, but okay, we could see some decent volatility around 2:30 then. So there is a chance that later this afternoon we'll get some volatility come from there. We've gone through most of our other things. That's it. Okay, have a great day. Bye for now.